Good morning, it is Clay at claytrader.com. This will be a live trade video where I try to capture some of my trades as they play out live. Market opens up here in 3 minutes. Real quick, if you're new to these videos, when I say live, what I mean is that I'm recording myself, seeing the information, seeing the data for the very first time, compared to having already recorded everything and then coming back and explaining what's already happened. So this is not a trade recap. This is not some sort of post commentary. I don't know what's coming next. So if you just want an unscripted, nitty-gritty look into what it's like to be a day trader and how day trading can play out, then this will be a video for you. So I'm going to go ahead and pause for now, and I'll be back at the open. All right, watching 132 here. In at 132. Oh, wow. Look at that. Out of nowhere. What kind of... Are you serious? All right, let's see this thing calm down here a little bit. This seems... Wow. Well, goodness, I'm glad I only took 250 shares. Let's see if this is just some sort of irrational spike here. That was insane. Let's see if we can get back below 135. Yeah, 135 is definitely being a very stubborn level here. All right, all out there for $900 loss. Wow. All I can really say is I'm glad I was thinking about doing 500 shares there. And that would have been really, really painful. And this, it may still come back down because this spike may just have been some sort of algorithm thing. But at this point, I just can't risk that turning into anything larger because that was crazy. All I can really say is I'm grateful, I'm happy that I only did 250 shares. Because had I done 500, that's double. That would have been basically $1,800 loss. But what a spike. And that, you know, sometimes you'll get those in your favor, but also sometimes they're not in your favor. Let's see what Tesla's up to here. Quite the move down. All right, well, I will go ahead and pause for now. And wouldn't you know it, look at this. Came all the way back down. So yeah, hindsight, it is what it is, but I am interested at 132, excuse me. I will do 500 shares this time, as this is, in my opinion, at least a big sign of weakness here, but we'll see if it wants to act like it wants to come down to 132. All right, I will go ahead and pause, and I'll keep a close eye on it. Okay, coming down. In at 132.06. Let's see if we can start to get some more momentum here. Want to see 131, see if that can break. Again, watching 131 here. Bit of a breath there, but that's fine because that was a pretty big move. Reaching down to 131 again, somewhat. $131 being quite stubborn. If this does come back down to 131, I'm actually going to add. But 131 first needs to come back into play. But I will go ahead and pause for now as this one kind of bounces around here. Okay, we'll look to add at 132.50 as I like this setup here taking place. But want to see it come down to 132.50. So watching closely here. Love that candle, but I just want to see a bit more confirmation. Did I miss it? I did. It's going to let me get in. All right, there we go. Got some on the back test. Let's see if this thing can now come down through. Yeah, 131. All right, I will go ahead and pause. I will now be looking to add at 132 if it comes down to 132. So still have some work to do, but if 132 comes into play, I will be looking to add another 250 shares, but we'll have to see if that happens or not, but I'll go ahead and pause for now. Okay, maybe 132 is coming into play here. Still got about 30 cents to go. All right, I will pause. Okay. I missed it at 132. Shoot. Okay. But let's see, can we finally get this break of 131? Come on, 131. Okay, took off some shares just because I can't take this heat right now. Can't risk this thing bouncing up on me after I've given it another time to roll back over. And unfortunately, I'm going to have to just bow out there. So ultimately just made, I don't know, disappointing. Had I gotten that other ad, I could have been a little bit more aggressive. Oh, I'm glad I played it the way I did. Look at that garbage. Unbelievable. Yeah. That is some frustration you hear in my voice for sure. Well, I suppose if 131 wants to come back into play, I would be interested at this point. But as of now, good grief. But like I was saying, had I been able to add, but I was too slow, then yeah, I could have scaled out some more down around that area and made it a little bit bigger of a trade. But that's just unfortunate. Look at that. Wow. Well, that actually feels pretty good. I mean, frustrating because it came all the way back down there and then bounced yet again. Well, I'm going to keep an eye on 131. As that one still is interesting to me. I don't know. What about 133 here? 134. Is this another candle here that suggests it's going to come back down? Maybe, but I have no problem admitting right now that this one's got my confidence shook a little bit. Because that was just crazy. Okay, down 838 bucks right now. Have an order at 2075 here. No, I should not be doing that. Nope. Reason why I'm changing my mind, this thing's right at the trend line. And it may still break down to the trend line, but come on, Clay. That could easily, just as easily, bounce off the trend line. In fact, I would probably argue that the odds favor it bouncing off that trend line right there. Now, again, just because the odds favor it doesn't mean that it will happen, but it's certainly not a situation where I should have been looking to pick up those puts. And right now, yeah, I've definitely chosen right. But yeah, that's definitely just a revenge trade type situation there. But to give myself a little credit, at least I caught the emotions there before it was too late. But yeah, that was definitely an emotional based trade. Now if this thing wants to calm down a little bit more, I'm still potentially interested. But as of now, at the current status here, that was just emotionally based trade. Not based on any sort of logic or reasoning. And there you can see it. Look at that. That would have been painful. Clay, why didn't I go long there then? Because I was too busy explaining to you and talking out loud about the emotions. Now, I'm not blaming the live video. I'm just saying that, sometimes when you're like, wait a second, and you're talking to yourself and figuring out, am I being emotional? Then yeah, maybe sometimes you miss out on an opportunity, but that's also all in hindsight there. But yeah, well, I've been doing this a long time, almost 2 decades now, but I'll be the first to admit I'm still human. Maybe the one advantage that I have is I've just done enough dumb things to recognize the emotions when they show up. And like I said, to my credit, I did recognize that emotion before. It turned out to be potentially really painful there. But so very, very aware of the emotions now. And SC, hop over there, is still just being an absolute clown show. Look at that. Well, you know what? At least I didn't hold and hope. At least I didn't, not take profits and then have it bounce up and then hold, because that loss would have been so much bigger, but it actually was a winning trade. So I'll try to look at the bright side here. However, what a tricky bugger that thing was. That move right there. Unbelievable. Just looking great then. Ba-boom. And you witnessed it all. And in hindsight, I should have played it like I usually play spikes. I would have been okay. But it just didn't feel quite right. And set me back. But again, very glad that I only took the 250 shares, because had that not been the case, I'd be in a much different situation here. But let's go over to Tesla. Yeah, still just bouncing around that area. So 860 is a very interesting level, but a level that, I'm not willing to take anytime really soon. Granted, I'm a scalper, so my definition of soon means like 5-10 minutes, but we'll see what happens. But I'll go ahead and pause. Little update on Tesla. Yeah. Look at the big old bounce now off that area. So that would have been not pleasant at all. So again, as traders, we're always going to have emotions, right? It doesn't matter how long you've been trading. You're always going to have emotions. But the key is, do you recognize the emotions? Do you know what to do when the emotions show up? And it's nothing fancy. I mean, it's not like I did anything fancy. All I did was cancel the order, right? Because that's what you should do. Wait, is this an emotional trade? Yeah, it is. All right, cancel, right? You don't have to get fancy about it. Just, okay, now we have an interesting situation here. Because that bounce really just completely failed. And the markets just completely had a crazy candle too. So what is going on here? Oh, and I missed it at 21.50. Wow, that moved so fast. Well, that's unfortunate. But I am interested in potentially playing some calls now. Let me actually get that alerted here. All right, well, we'll see if this one thing wants to come down a bit more. I could very well be interested, but I'll go ahead and pause for now. And I do want to note, because I could see somebody saying, "Well, Clay, it would have been fine because the price came back down." And what you're forgetting is, are you sure your account could have sat through that amount? I mean, that would have been a very big unrealized loss. And yeah, in hindsight, I could have, but I mean, really, are you going to let your P&L go that red? Because all it takes is one of those situations where this thing never goes back down, and that P&L not only was already big red, it's just going to get that much larger. So yes, I get it. In hindsight now, it's very easy to say, no, I would have held. Or it's easy to build a strategy and say, oh yeah, I would have put my stop loss someplace that would have had you in the trade. But like I said, at that time, it would have been a huge unrealized red loss. And at that time, it could have still gotten even huger than it already was. So keep that in mind, because that's a very common hindsight trick. As well, Clay, you could have held and you would have been just fine. You could have gotten in, you could have held through that, and then you would have been rewarded. And you're not wrong, but you're discounting the fact of, in the real life of trading, you would have been staring at a very large red number with the threat of that red number getting even larger. And you just can't afford to do that. That's too much risk, because all it takes is one of those where the large number just keeps getting larger. And, I'm not going to say that you blow up your account, but I will say that it can severely dent your profits and your progress. And in some situations, yeah, maybe it does blow up your account, depending on how stubborn you actually get. But so a good learning lesson there. So at least we're getting some learning lessons here. You can see the nasty nature of stocks, and then how stocks can just play like a fiddle and not behave. Yeah.
I made an axe.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, you see, I axe and made a hammer part.
Oh, yeah, that's cool. Nice one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to have a snack.
No, you just had breakfast, right? Did you have breakfast?
No, we didn't have breakfast today.
Oh, you didn't? Yeah, go grab a snack then. That's fine.
We didn't have breakfast yet.
Trip, don't hit Faye with that axe. Don't hit your sister. Oh, the video is still recording, so I failed to hit the pause button. Okay, well, there you go. Trip came in, my son, with an axe he made out of paper. I have no idea how he did it, but it was pretty cool. It kind of looked like Thor's hammer somewhat, but then, of course, he had to hit his sister with it. But I'm on daddy/day trader duty. My wife is doing some errand. My wife is at Go Long Costco, COST, doing a grocery run. So I'm trying to do some day trading, some daddy work, some homeschool stuff. But yeah, as this one kind of chops back upwards, I don't know. Should I just call it a day and just take my wound and just be grateful that this sort of action doesn't happen every single day? And like I said, I'm not mad, because there's been times where those sorts of crazy movements happen in my favor, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, whoa, all right, I'm making some real good money really quickly. But yeah, in that situation, it just went against me. And I still just, I know I've said it a million times, but in my mind, so grateful that I only did the 250 shares because I was right on the edge. This is looking good. It's looking good. Let's do 500, but it's still super early. Let's just manage that risk. Let's do 250. And that's a situation where, had it gone in my favor, I wouldn't have made, a whole lot. I would not have made anywhere close to what I would have made with 500 shares, right? But that's always a two-sided coin. And in that situation, unfortunately for me, that the side of the coin went against me very quickly. So like I said, I'm so grateful that I reduced position size. So I realize when you reduce position size, and if you're right, the voice is going to show up that says, had you done bigger position size, you would have made more money. And while that's true, that voice is failing to tell you, but had something crazy happen, that would have been a double the loss. So remember, that is a two-sided coin. But I am so grateful, very happy that I only did the 250 shares. But pretty sure I'm going to call it good. I'm not quite willing to commit to that for sure. I'll look around, see if any other sort of setups maybe want to take place. But as of this exact moment, not looking like that'll be the case. But I'll pause and look around for a few moments longer. Well, it is now 4 hours later. 5 hours later? I don't really remember when the last time I stopped, but totally forgot about the recording and just remembered, I got to wrap this up. So there have been no more trades. I haven't been around. And looking back, looks like that's probably a good thing because it was just a big old chop fest. So it is what it is, closing down with commissions, let's call it 850. Not a pleasant day, but one where in all actuality, it could have been a lot worse. Goes back to, and I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself here because I don't remember what exactly I was saying. So just generally speaking, glad that I reduced position size. Remember, that's a two-sided coin, and it definitely worked out in my favor. And then I saved myself another potentially a good size loss by recognizing emotions, recognizing the revenge trade tendency with that Tesla trade. If I remember right, it was right at a trend line and I was about to short it. And then it bounced off the trend line quite a bit and would have definitely taken me out. So like I said, all things considered, as bizarre as it sounds, I'm relatively happy with the day. Now, of course, it's not like I'm going to go be actually happy about it, but all things considered, I'll take it. And I don't mean to be arrogant or cocky, but within the big picture, the loss it'll be wiped away. I'll take care of it. The strategy and all that will it'll do its thing. But today was just an example of sometimes you're just in the wrong place at the wrong time, and you got to deal with it. But it is what it is. So do I really feel like posting this video? Nope, I don't. I don't know who wants to post this? But I hit the record button, so it's going on YouTube. So with that, if you appreciate that transparency, if you appreciate me just showing you how things can go on some days and not trying to hide things, not just, all right, let's just delete that one out of here. If you appreciate the transparency, but then hit that like button, please. Share the video, leave a comment. But like I said, just even if you just give me a thumbs up emoji, hitting the like button and a thumbs up emoji, or just writing hi, or those things communicate to me that it motivates me to just be transparent like this. And, if you're a longtime viewer, then you've seen other videos like this, so this isn't anything new. But I'll also just completely be honest. It's never fun to have to post videos like this. It's just, I want to be able to post videos where I'm making $800. But it is what it is. So like I said, hit that like button, leave a comment below if you appreciate the transparency. And as long as I know people are, appreciating these sorts of videos, then I will continue to make them. And I'll continue to just show how things can go, even if it makes me look a little foolish, but it is what it is. So hit that like button, leave a comment below, and remember, get out there and manage that risk. First off, thanks so much for watching the entire video. Real quick, before you go, I want to invite you to a live webinar, web class, training, workshop, online event, whatever you want to call it, but it will be me live revealing to you what I've discovered that has allowed me to transform myself from being an employee to being my own boss, including how I had only one losing day out of 73 days in total. I'm going to cover 3 keys that have helped me unlock profitable consistency within the markets. The first key is super weird, but in a productive type of way. The second key is super awesome because it quite literally is wired into our DNA as humans, making it very easy to use. But in a cruel way, this becomes a pitfall for many traders. I'll explain it all though, including how to avoid the pitfall that it creates for some. And yeah, the third key, when you hear it, sounds way too good to be true, but it's not, and I'll show you how it all works. Then at the end, I open it up for a question and answer session that is, again, totally live. Even if you can't make the live session, please still sign up as it will be recorded, and you can go back and watch the replay that I will send you. Click the image on the screen or click the link down in the description box so you can get the date and time and claim your spot, which I should note is limited due to the fact that this truly is a live event. If you have any questions, let me know. If not, I'll be seeing you soon.